Maybe not.
Good morning, Giants. Welcome to Wake Up with Giants TV. Have you ever wondered why the Mandelbrot equation matters in transformation? What? I can tell you, maybe. I know a man who knows.
Maybe I know. Maybe I'm going to make this up.
This is, yeah.
I'm going to tie it into coaching because I think it applies. And first, I'll tell you a little bit about what the equation is. And any mathematicians that are out there that might know better than I do, just correct me in the comments. Because
I know an equation.
yeah,
Facebook's blocked us from their algorithms working, apparently. But
yeah.
YouTube, we're still here. So.
I made a joke on Facebook that they didn't like according to their algorithms. So
Yeah, it made
jokes
no
matter.
sense. The context made no sense of
Yeah.
anything.
No, but
But
that's the
they
way they've
don't
got
care.
it regulated. No, and you can't talk to anybody. But so welcome to Facebook or welcome to YouTube. Yeah. Anyway, so Mandelbrot. Anyway, moving on. Mandelbrot set is the mathematical equation where you take a number, you square it, you add it to a complex number, and you get a new number. And then you add it back in, and you do that over and over again. And so his thought, Mandelbrot's thought, was why aren't mathematicians calculating the patterns that occur in nature? And so he put together this set and came up with an equation that, when repeated, creates complexity. I'm going to pull up the video kind of a Mandelbrot set and see if we can play this through for just a minute. But this is the Mandelbrot set. As you zoom in, it's just self-similar. It just keeps repeating to infinity. Like there's no end to it. And so in our lives, it's kind of that way. When you take a simple equation and you create an outcome, and then you add that back into your equation, you're doing the similar things over and over again, but you're creating complexity with your life. And so when we're doing coaching, we're talking about mountains without tops, patterns without end, places to grow where there is no end to it. It's infinite. And you can just keep doing that over and over again. And you see the same pattern popping up no matter how far you zoom in, it keeps coming up over and over. And so the idea here is that when we're growing and developing in our lives is that the patterns are going to seem self-similar, kind of like a piece of broccoli. You cut off a smaller piece and it looks like the larger whole, but it's a smaller piece. But you do that over and over, it's self-similar. Our lives are that way. It might feel like you're taking the same steps over and over again, but those add to the old steps, and it creates complexity and detail in your life and beauty in your life. And so, yeah, maybe what do you think there, Ryan?
I was thinking about a Keanu Reeves gif.
Yeah. Keep
That's
zooming in on it.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree in that. You're taking a portion of that, and the cool thing about transformation is you get the ability to choose what stays and what goes.
Yeah.
And I think in transformation it can get more and more beautiful, more and more amazing. And you could look at the original start point and look at it, like yourself as who you were before. And I think it evolves and transforms and becomes something more magical, almost like the caterpillar to the
Yeah.
butterfly, right?
Yeah.
And so, it's not the same one repeated over and over again. It's the one that started. It was still you,
Right.
but now you're an up-leveled version of you.
Yeah.
You've spiraled up, but it's still you.
It's still you. You just add to it. So it's like
Yeah.
giants. When we talk about giants, they're not taking giant steps. They're taking small steps repeated. They're just bigger in capacity, and that's it. And so your life is going to look kind of like Groundhog Day in a way. but it's not. It's because as you step, you're adding complexity to that last equation or that last day. So even though it's self-similar, it's changing.
Hmm.
And it'll be a different pattern for every person because we're all doing different things, but we're adding back into our old equation. And so that's where you got to just trust the process, that
Hmm.
it's going to shift your life. It's like the caterpillar goes into the chrysalis, and it has to trust the process that it'll come out as a butterfly. It just follows the steps and then it comes out that way. And
It might
so,
not even know what it's going to come out like.
yeah, I mean, if
Just
it's, if
knows that,
consistently
hey, this is what I got to do next.
comes out as a puppy dog,
That would be weird.
be like, what? That's a surprise. No, but there's some consistency, right? You can count on it at a certain degree to be self-similar, like
Hmm.
a pattern that repeats. So in your life, do that. Just trust it. Keep adding to it. Keep adding to your life. It'll create complexity. It'll create beauty.
That's kind of the sometimes that's the hard part is we live in a society too that wants the instant result. It wants, the muscles without going to the gym over and over
Yeah,
and over,
yeah,
right? Like I
yeah.
do. They're still not.
Right. Yeah, there's a
Only
certain amount
once.
of adding to it, right? If you don't add to it, then it really doesn't change. It doesn't go backwards. You don't go to the negative where you lose it all. There's still a foundation.
My
But
foundation's a little weak in that department.
I would say that that's more of like staying in a loop, right? You get in a loop where you want this thing, but you don't add to it. And so you repeat what you already have. And so you
Hmm.
keep what you already have. Whereas the Mandelbrot pushes you to add something to the equation. And even if it's a small thing, add something. Like if you were to add one pull up a day,
It's
one push up
interesting
a day,
because my
right?
dad just started doing that. Like in
Yeah,
fact, we talked about it yesterday. We went up fishing and he talked about. He said he had a personal trainer put together something for him and his age, and stuff like that because he's getting a little bit older.
yeah,
And it still pushed him. He said the first day I was sore, and it wasn't even that much. The
yeah,
next day I was still sore, but I did it again, and I did it
yeah,
again, and I did it again, and it was like, okay, do 10 of these, and
yeah,
then but do 100 throughout the day. Do 10 in the morning, 10 at this time, 10 at this time, 10 at this time, and then all of a sudden you look back and you've done 100.
right.
You couldn't do 100 at that first moment, and then the next day it's gonna be hard a little bit until your muscles recover. But you do
Yeah,
10. Okay, I can do 10. I can do 10 more. I can do 10 more. When your body recovers, and then and then she ups it over the time period where you could do 100 in a row, and then maybe do an extra 10, 10, 10 throughout the day. You do 130 now.
right. I love
Um,
that.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if that'll make sense, but that's
Makes enough
just
sense. Yeah.
building on it a little bit at a time, or breaking it up into sections. If it seems so big, we'll bite off smaller chunks more often.
Yeah. There you go. Something added to something is greater than something.
Math still works.
Math. It maths. That's it for today, guys. So yeah, go make it a Mandelbrot day.
Mm-hmm.
Go do something simple. Repeat it. Create complexity.
Love you too.
See you in the next video.
Mm-hmm.